Hi everyone, it's Ann here. Welcome into my studio. As you know me, I am Ann. This channel here is called Annmakes, and today I want to share a little update with you as to what I've been doing while I am dealing with this stay at home to save lives. And well, one of the things I've been working on are my gardens. So today's video is going to be how I have set up my gardens and how I'm preparing to get ready for planting in a few weeks. So if you're interested in seeing a how-to garden video on Annmakes, then stay tuned, because that's right. Here on Annmakes, I only talk about crafting usually, but for those of you who don't know, I love gardening. I have always loved gardening. It is my other passion. It is something that I love to do as soon as the weather permits. Having basically 6 months of winter here, that might be an exaggeration, but some years it does seem like our winters are very long here. And when the nice weather appears, I, like a lot of Canadians, just love to be outside and go putter around in the garden. So today I'm going to show you what I've been up to, and I'm going to show you how part of my studio is really transformed. Well, actually, it's a mess. But here in the studio on my island, I've actually been using this as a seed starting station where I've started many seeds because it was too cold to go outside. It was there was still ice blocking the greenhouse door, so I had to wait for that to melt, and I chipped away at it, and I did wear boots and go a lot, but it was just really too cold out there to go work in the greenhouse. So it's been about almost 10 days now, off and on though, that weather has permitted us to go outside and work around the garden beds and the greenhouse. But we've had some really cold days which forced us to stay inside. We couldn't work outside, and we've been back outside. So I'm going to take you outside in a little bit, and I'm going to show you the status of my gardens now. There's nothing to see growing, of course, because, well, there's still actually some spots. I don't know if you can see it on the camera here. In my backyard, it's going to be hard to see because of the glare of the sunshine. I still have patches of snow and ice in parts of the backyard. Where my garden is, which is more on the east side, there's a lot more sun there, and that all the snow in that area is gone, is melted, but I still have some frozen spots in a garden bed. So let me show you what my studio looks like right now very quickly. Well, part of my studio, at least the island, so you can get a glimpse of what I am doing. So I'm gonna switch the camera over. Okay, so here's my island. Now it's very messy. There's tons of stuff on here. But here, as you see, this green mat, this is a mat I had bought at Dollar Tree, and this is what I am using to put dirt in little pots and plant seeds. And then this is just an easy way for me to keep my area clean so I can go back to crafting afterwards. Again, besides that, I have this box here, this clear shoe box, and look at that. It's another dollar store purchase filled with seeds from the dollar store, because that basically has been the only place I had gotten seeds. But I did have a majority of these seeds I had bought stay-at-home orders. So a lot of these seeds were bought more than 7 weeks ago, because here in this part of Canada, here in Ontario, this is week 7 of the stay-at-home order, just so you know. And in this other box here, this one is from Dollarama, and it broke, but I'm just using it for my garden stuff. I have some pots. I have some gloves to keep my hands clean from the dirt, rag, and some more pots, string, scissors, things like that. This is just some of the gardening stuff that I have. I also have here an arrow garden, which I purchased the seed starting station for my arrow garden. This is a harvest. I think this is called a harvest model. And you can purchase the top part separately, because the top part that comes with the actual arrow garden only has, I believe, 6 or 8 holes, big holes. But I was able to order this piece, and it took about a month to get here to start seeds, and it's phenomenal. It's really starting. It's really helping to grow the seeds. And it's just a lot of fun to see the progress, like daily, really, and sometimes by hour. It's amazing. So I'm having fun with that. And this is some removable, like sticky back, like the sticky back paper or posted paper, but in tape form, that I've put here to write the names of what I planted. So let me just check here in the back what model this is, in case you want to know. Oh, I think this is, oh, I can see it there. It says Harvest Elite Slim. Yeah, you can't see it there, it's very dark. But it says Harvest Elite Slim. So this is something that we purchased at Costco last year. We did grow herbs in it, and now I'm using it to start seeds. And by the way, this thing is adjustable. It goes higher. So now I have it down here. I also invested in the watering system, which is, it's not necessary. This is luxury, I know, but I'm really enjoying it because it's self-watering my arrow garden. I don't need to be reminded, which is what this system does. Just reminds me when to water, when to feed. It's like, this is a little luxurious, I know, but it is a lot of fun. So we were able to buy this when it was on a really good sale. I want to say it was a clearance, but I don't think it was a clearance, but it was like really a good price. This, I paid full price for it, as well as this top part, but I was really eager to get my garden started this year. So yeah, but I don't regret the purchase. I think it works really well. It is a great time saver for me. I filled this up once, and I think this has been going for more than 2 weeks now. So it just makes my life a little bit easier on that front. Okay, now over on this end of my studio, I set up temporarily that plastic shelving unit, and that's where I had started all my seeds that I've started so far. And I still have some plants growing now, but the reason the shelves are empty is because I moved all the seedlings I had started in here 2 days ago into the greenhouse, because the weather was allowing me to do that, and the temperature in the greenhouse was pretty good for the plants. So and down there I have another seed starter, little mini greenhouse that I can show it there. I've got some cosmos in there growing, and this is something I had picked up at Dollarama. So I'm gonna go put my hair back, put on some sunscreen, and get my jacket, and I'm gonna go meet you outside in the garden next. Hi again. So here we are. We're outside now. We are just like outside the side door, closer to where my kitchen is of my house. And this is the side, I guess, of our property where the sun rises. The sun rises in the east over there. And the trick is filming on a very windy day. The wind has picked up all of a sudden. It's not that windy, but it picked up all of a sudden. Okay, so here I am in the back east side of my property. And behind me, you can see part of my garden. In there I have 4 beds, 4 raised beds, and you can see the greenhouse just beyond that. And those are the beds I've been gardening in for the last, I don't know, 5 years or so. And I'm expanding this year, so let me take you on a tour of my gardening, and you can see the before, and hopefully I'll be able to show you in a few weeks from now planted. And it would be so great to see a really big harvest come out of this little garden. So hang on a second. Alright, so here is a look at the garden. This would be, I guess, the street view. Although it's hard to see a lot of this from the street when all the trees have leaves in them. Right now, this part is visible from the street. It is on the back complete side of my property. So here is the fenced in area, and in here I will be planting the vegetables that are susceptible to being eaten by the critters that lurk around here. They like the bunny rabbits and groundhogs that love to come and munch on things like my lettuce, cauliflowers, cabbages, all yummy stuff, you know. The squirrels get into everything. It's very hard to keep the squirrels out, and the birds, of course, they eat most of the berries. But at least now with this fence, I can keep out a lot more of the bunnies, the groundhogs and stuff, and the skunks. Yes, we have a lot of everything here. And the raccoons. Well, the raccoons will just climb over the fence. There's nothing I can do with the raccoons. So here is the fenced area. I have a gate on this end, and it was stuck yesterday, so I'm not going to even try to open it from this side right now. I added an outside bed just late yesterday. Here, this wooden box that you see. And what I did is that we are doing a lot of spring cleaning in our garage, and we've had this kicking around in the garage for like 10 years or so, and it's just a rickety old handmade bookcase. I had 2 shelves in it, very cheap thin plywood. It was handmade. I picked it up at a rummage sale for $5, and I did use the shelving for some toys in the kids' toy rooms or years when they were little, but now I'm just using it for the wood, and this is going to be a new garden bed. So I have nothing in here right now. Like I said, I just set it out yesterday. So let's see about going in the garden. Here I have owls lurking over the fence. Apparently these owls from the dollar store, oh, my gate is stuck, are supposed to scare away little rodents. So I do have less rodents since I put up the owls. Alright, so I'm just going to walk around the outside perimeter here and show you an area. This area here outside the fence is a new garden bed. It looks very messy right now. I laid out bricks, all those bricks that you see there, yesterday over a black garden cloth, and I have laid down a layer of cardboard in the bottom to help in the raised bed making that I'll be doing. And I do a lot of stuff like that. I cheat at making raised beds. I lay down cardboard, I place an edging, and then I add the components. I'll add the soil and the compost and all sorts of yummy things in there for the worms and for the garden to grow. So this is a new bed that I've set up this year. I want to plant here some squash that will have the ability to have the chance to climb on the fencing. Okay, so you can see in there's 4 garden beds. This is a work in progress. We have 1 bed left to weed. That is my son's job. He's got that one to do. Okay. So here we are on the other side where I have my other gate. By the way, if you're wondering, this fencing was actually repurposed from a business that was no longer in business, and they were selling the property and everything on it, and they were getting rid of the fence. So that's how I got someone to get me the fence, and we got it for such a good deal. The hard part was getting it here and installing it. So yeah, someone else's trash was my treasure. Okay, so here are 4 raised beds. They are these modular, they're a type of plastic. They're supposed to last like 20 years. I've had them for like 5 years. They do very well. They were very easy to assemble, kind of like Legos, and I really like them. They are about 2 feet high, and the first year I had filled them up with luscious gardening soil. The top I could find, I could buy. I spent a lot of money on that. So, and I took care of it, and every year I would just add compost to it, and didn't have to add more soil until I became more ill, and then I couldn't garden. So it started to get taken over by weeds. Despite my hiring people to help me with the garden work, I hired someone to do gardening for me because I was unable to, and she made a lot of promises, and I did get somebody else as well. I was made a lot of promises about they were going to help me with my garden. They loved the garden, etc., etc., but they didn't do their job, and my garden, my beautiful soil, got taken over by weeds and even some trees. Actually, we had trees growing in here the other day, and that's what my son and I spent several days digging out. So yeah, it's been a lot of work to get my garden beds back. So this is where we are at. This bed here is ready for planting. This bed is the last one left with all the weeds and stuff to remove. There are raspberry bushes growing in here. Why, I don't know, but there's a ton. We also had a tree growing in here. It's so weird. This bed took me about a week to do. It had 3 trees growing in it, but I got them all out, and I have placed this shower curtain. Yeah, it's a shower curtain from the dollar store as a tarp to keep any seeds from blowing in here, also to suffocate any possible weeds that were left behind. This bed over here, I don't know if you can see the discoloration in the dirt. There's a darker spot there. Okay, that area there is totally frozen still. The rest of it is thawed, but that's frozen. So we can't even pull the roots out. And that's just been my nemesis this week. So this one is almost done with all the weeding and preparing to plant. And once that's done, I will have 4 garden beds. They measure 4 feet by 4 feet, so I have 16 square feet in each one. And that won't be all this year. There is more to come. I just built this frame yesterday or the day before. We had some of this, I have no idea what this is, these like corner pieces of aluminum steel thingy and this. Anyway, I bent it and I made this frame, and I will be hanging chicken wire from it to make a type of trellis, because I will be planting cucumbers there. So, okay, there's my wheelbarrow. And oh, this box here full of weeds is actually the microwave box. Yes, during all of this, my husband killed the microwave, so we had to buy a new one online, and this is the box from it. And because my wheelbarrow was stuck in ice and snow 2 weeks ago, I decided to repurpose the box as my temporary wheelbarrow. Hey, it works. Okay, so, and oh, this shower curtain here, it was an old shower curtain that I kept as a drop cloth, and I was using it to cover this garden bed to kill the weeds. So see, in this time that it's hard to get out to the stores, you know, because we are trying to keep everybody safe, especially our healthcare workers and first line providers, you know, everybody on the front line, providers safe, which I totally agree with, by the way. It's hard to get out to go shopping, so it makes us, I think, more creative, and we may take the time, at least we do here, take the time to look at all the crap we have in our own homes and see ways we can repurpose it so we can save ourselves a trip to the store, of course. Okay, my little rant is over now. Okay, so there's my little garden. This is the one I've been gardening in off and on for a few years. And here's my little greenhouse. My little greenhouse. I'm so proud of it. I love my greenhouse. It's an 8x6 Pelham greenhouse kit, and my husband assembled it for me about 5 years ago, and I really like it. So let's see what the temperature is. So the temperature in the greenhouse right now is, I don't know if I can barely see it myself. Okay, so for my American viewers, it's at 81 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's about 27 degrees Celsius inside the greenhouse. So that's really a really good temperature for the plants that are in here. Okay, so here, I want to see this is my how to make a greenhouse door stay open. Oh, take a pole, a stick, stick it in the ground. Ta-da! I know, it's today's DIY. Okay, so here's my greenhouse. Do not be afraid. Or be afraid, I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot going on in here, as you can tell, and it's cleaned up. This is the cleaned up version of the greenhouse. So I have a lot of tools in here right now, mostly tools, not as many plants as I would like, of course, because there's only so many days in the week. So these are all the plants I have started. I had started these in the house. They were in my studio, and I couldn't wait to get them out here because Snowball was taste testing a lot of these, and I was getting a little upset at her for eating my hard work. But yeah, so I've been able to move the plants the seedlings I started. So I have some I have lots of zucchini growing. I have some cucumber. There's a few tomato plants growing. I have, this is from the dollar store, the Dollarama. This is one of those pots with the strawberry seed, and there are only 2. That's it. That's all that's growing from that kit. Here is the mini tomatoes. This is also from Dollarama, and I have 4 little tomato plants growing in that one. So, you know, it's some success. It's better than nothing. There's some lettuce back there. These are tomatoes, And this is some dill, not doing much. And these are some onions. I don't know if you can see that. Okay. And in this container, this is also a repurposed container from Dollarama. This was sold during holidays, the Christmas time, and because it had one of those Christmas stickers on it, and you can carry it. You can clip these on and then carry it away. So you can carry like a casserole or cupcakes or whatever, baked goods, to bring somewhere, or you could use it for whatever. And it got dropped again. It broke, and instead of throwing it out, I decided, oh, I'll make a perfect mini greenhouse to start some seeds. So in here I have those little peat pots. Is it peat pots or little cardboard pots? All purchased from Dollarama, with some soil from Dollarama and the seeds as well. So there we go. This is dollar store gardening with Ann. And on the other side of my greenhouse, here are my other plants. They are loving the heat of the greenhouse, let me tell you. And on this side here, I do have some spaghetti squash growing, some more zucchini. I'm gonna have too much zucchini. These are beans, green beans. I have corn, the corn, and there is one plant. Can you tell? Yeah, this plant here. That was Snowball. Decided to start eating corn. So, and yeah, so those are the seedlings I have right now. My sunflowers have not sprouted yet. And yeah, so here's my greenhouse. I do have a warming light in here. I just need to get an extension cord so I can use it in the evening, when for the nights that still get cold. So yeah, so again, it's really hard to film in here. So this is my greenhouse right now. It's messy, lots of tools, etc., etc. So back outside, I want to show you with the other things I've been doing is right outside the greenhouse here. Excuse me, where that like square of dirt is, I had a pile of bricks. They were left over from the when I had the studio built at the back of my house, and we had the wall finished in brick. There were leftover bricks, of course, and they were thrown here on a pallet, and it was very, very messy. So yesterday I took the time to clean it all up, and I used the bricks to lay around my greenhouse and create this little faux wall, just so it would be tidy. And I just continued the bricks along the back side as well, and parts of the bricks are on the side. So this is the old pallet that had all the bricks on, and I'm going to repurpose this pallet. I'm just letting it dry in the sun right now because it was really, really wet. And on this side of my greenhouse, I have a tumbling composter that I moved from an area that was getting too shady. And there is my beautiful garden gold. This is compost that I made over the year. So I have all of this big tub of compost, and this tub, by the way, if you're wondering, had a tree came in this, and I got this from, I think, my mother like over 10 years ago. She didn't need it after they planted the tree, but I thought I would have a use for this tub, and lo and behold, I do. So, and this is another, so it just looks really messy right now outside the greenhouse because I have a lot of pots. They're not filled, but this is like the before. This is a work in progress. Here I can show you on the side of our property here, this is what we refer to, well, I refer to this as our mini orchard. This tree is a plum tree, and then this tree here is also a plum tree, and that bigger tree there is a pear tree. So that's what they look like right now. They don't have any fruit, of course, because we are just April 27, 2020, and yeah, it's only 9 degrees Celsius today out here, so give you an idea of what the temperature is like. You can see the pear tree. This is, yeah, it's just the little buds are starting on it. So if we pan over the property, I'm gonna show you where the new beds are coming. I will have a new bed coming in here over this spot of dirt beside the greenhouse, and I will have one right beside it, parallel to it. And I'm hoping to make them 6 by 12 feet, both of them. And in those beds, I hope to plant and transplant some perennial vegetables and fruit. So what I'm hoping to plant is asparagus, blueberries, raspberries. I'm going to have the strawberries, and I have 2 new rhubarb plants coming, although I do have rhubarb already. Yeah, I'm getting those, so well, I'm not going to throw them away. I'll use them. Here's a fire pit that was here when we moved, but we do have strict burning laws, so we've hardly ever used this fire pit. But yeah, that's why it's overgrown with grass and weed. But yeah, it's practical when we have diseased trees and branches. We can burn them here, so for that it's practical. And then that's when we roast marshmallows. Okay, so this is the back of the property, and if you look over there where you see that pink there, that's actually my studio. Those are the windows of the back of my studio. And in my studio, they look a lot smaller from here, I know, but our house is quite large. And yeah, so this is the studio. I don't know if we can see Snowball. She was there before. Now she's probably taking a nap. She was upset at me because I was coming outside. So that is where the other side of where I am. And this is the site you probably are familiar with when I'm filming in the studio, and you see outside and you see people walking on a trail that's behind there, below that little hill. So here's I have another garden. This is the very first garden I had when we moved here, and I grew a lot of stuff in here, but it was very hard to maintain. So yeah, and you could see there's a big hole there. It's falling apart. This whole thing is just falling apart. Yeah. But anyway, in here now I have a rhubarb plant in the corner there. In the other corner I have another rhubarb plant, and basically I have roses. Lots of rose bushes. I do have some perennial herbs and some raspberries that are not supposed to be there. I also have some other perennial flowers, like some types of daisies, and there's also a lot of little wild strawberries growing in here. And on this side are my beloved hollyhocks. When they are in full bloom, these things are about 12 feet high, and they are black. They're just incredible. And I also have mint, a lot of mint here. So there's lilac bush. There's the boys' old fort. And then towards this part of the property is the shed, where I have lots of stuff in it. And the rest of our property. And here is the area that my husband wants to have torn up this year, and I don't want to. Here is all the brambles, and these brambles that you see here are blackberry bushes. There's also gooseberry in here. All of this. I see this as a natural hedge and a way to screen from you know, our neighbors' property. We don't, you know, they can't see us, we can't see them. But hubby wants this gone. He doesn't like it. So that's it. So that's it for the pre-garden tour. As you can see there, the white, that's ice and snow that's left in our yard. It's April 27, 2020, but yes, this is Ontario, Canada. We're in the east of Ontario, and yeah, winter's long here. So I hope you enjoyed seeing my barren, messy backyard and greenhouse and brambles. I hope I haven't lost you, but I just wanted you to see what I've been up to and give you some tips. I hope I gave you a few tips on how to use some dollar store products for gardening. And I hope you'll stay tuned and come back and see the progress I will make in my little garden. So thank you so very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Please like, comment, share. It's windy. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, stay gardening and stay crafty. Thanks for watching. Bye.